Hey, Sean, I got a quick question for you. Why do baby boomers suck? Now, I know that can be a little bit on the nose, and I know that this is a different mix-up. I'm currently working with editing spaces and stuff like that, and I just got done recording a podcast with her. You can check that out at anchor.fm/HIMMM. But I digress. The reason why I asked to reference your previous question of how did we get here in terms of, people storming the Capitol. I think it's an amalgamation of things. I think it's an amalgamation of the fact that there is less opportunity today for people in lower and middle class than there was 30 years ago, 40 years ago. We've been in a boom-bust cycle of economics ever since Ronald Reagan slashed corporate and top income bracket tax rates. And as a result, we are, every time we bounce back from a recession, we end up having to concede something, and it becomes harder and harder and harder for us to live our lives. We're getting to a point now where it's becoming almost impossible for any of us to hash out a living that's worth a damn. And I think a lot of that kind of starts with the entitlement of the baby boomer generation. It is which can be best described as "fuck you, got mine." There's kind of an irony of a 60, 70-year-old man sitting in a $300 house that he paid $30K for back in the 1950s or 60s, or 70s or whatever, in the 60s and 70s, and then wondering why, blaming the younger generation, y'all are lazy, you can't get a job, not acknowledging the fact that they worked at the same company for their entire life and got a fat pension, and nowadays, they say you need to be loyal, and I'm like, you can't be loyal to a company that doesn't place a value on loyalty. Companies don't value loyalty today. They value flexibility. If you're able to drop anything and work at a moment's notice, they find you more valuable. That's it. You have no other, there's a reason why there's just constant turnover rate in departments. They find it cheaper to take the tax hit from that than it is to actually put the time and effort in to train you. Baby boomers, have a level, we live in a time where two of the most entitled generations of all time exist. You have the baby boomers and the millennials. They suck. They both suck. In their own ways, but at the end of the day, millennials at least had to learn to adapt into a new environment, and their grievances are warranted. Baby boomers refuse to adapt, and whenever they have any type of adversity and they're thrown into the gig economy, and they realize that nothing that they used to do works, they're all of a sudden surprised by their new adversity. I distinctly remember my Gen X stepfather telling me, he basically would kick me out of the house until I went and found a job, until I to go find a job at age 16. Not faulting him for that parenting, but you know what? Almost every single person that wasn't a mom and pop shop said, go apply online. Even a lot of the mom and pop shops had apply applications online. It's like, if I dress, they say if you dress smartly and hand in your resume and do all that, they don't care. They really don't care. He told me, call back, ask how the process is going. Do you know what companies do now? If you do that, they say that you sound desperate and pushy, and you're put on a do not hire list. Literally every single skill the baby boomers used to get a job when they were our age is flipped. Whatever they recommend, do the fucking opposite, because you might as well. They through legislation and voting in a block, they took wealth away from future generations, and are surprised when people are pushed further to the right and further to the left. Because in populism, there are options that normal people can rely on, whether depending on which way they lean politically. So to answer, so Sean, and to the viewers, I have a quick question for you. Why do you think the baby boomer generation sucks? Or why does Generation X suck? Or even better, why do our elders suck? That's the question. I'll see you on Sunday, Sean.
Poggers.